Hello everyone and welcome to the weird, scary and horrible parts of humanity. Today we are going to explore Japan's only school massacre which demonstrates countless flaws in the Japanese legal and prison system, the Osaka School Massacre, which was committed by Mamoru Takuma. Mamoru Takuma was born on the 23rd of November 1963 in Itami, Hyogo Prefecture, Japan. Itami is a relatively small city for Japan with a population today of 197,335 people. He had an older brother. His mother neglected both children and refused to breastfeed them, with his father forced to play the role of both father and mother. From an early age, at the age of 3, he showed a large number of warning signs. At 3 years of age, he rode on his tricycle onto a national road and caused a traffic jam. While in primary school, he alleged that he was bullied and gained the nickname Gonta, a Japanese word for a naughty boy. He then started torturing animals, particularly cats, by wrapping them in newspaper and setting them on fire and killing them. Animal torture during childhood is a very common trait for future serial killers. He then attended an industrial high school in Amagasaki City in March 1981. While in high school during his second year, he attacked a teacher before running away from home and going AWOL for several months. Eventually returning home, he dropped out of high school after 2 years and got into a physical confrontation with his dad when he tried to force his son to seek psychiatric help. He then transferred to a part-time high school but did not graduate. During his junior high school exam, he wrote that he wished he had never been born. His father was violent throughout his childhood, and Takuma thought of stabbing him with a kitchen knife while he was asleep. After working part-time at a petrol station for several months, at the age of 18 in late 1981, he entered the Japan Air Self-Defense Force, the Air Force brand of the Japan Self-Defense Force, but he was eventually discharged after having sex with a minor. He then became a truck driver and a driver for a moving company, but resigned after a few months. In 1983, he drove in reverse the wrong way down the Hanshin Expressway, a 239.9-kilometer long network of expressways around Osaka, Kyoto and Kobe. Arrested, he was released after he was found to be mentally unfit. In 1984, he and his loyal mother left the family home and bought an apartment. In the same year, he began working for a rental management company and raped a woman in 1984 while collecting rent for a condominium management company. As a result, he and his mother were admitted to a psychiatric hospital where he attempted to commit suicide by jumping from the 5th floor. However, his mother stated that his aim was to avoid the police pursuit for the rape case and he wanted to harass the girl's parents. He was diagnosed with schizophrenia. In 1985, he was sentenced to 3 years in prison for the rape before being released in 1989 from Naga Juvenile Prison. Following his release, he was disowned by his father. He then moved to Ikeda, a city in the Osaka Prefecture with a population of 103,028 people, working as a part-time bus driver in 1990, despite his arrest for driving in reverse down the Hanshin Expressway. His colleagues described him as an unremarkable and quiet individual, as well as a loner who did not like dealing with customers. In 1997, he also became a garbage man in addition to his part-time bus driving job. In 1998, he assaulted a passenger over the smell of her perfume. Fired as a bus driver, despite his charge for rape and having had sex with a minor, he got a job as a janitor at the Itami City Ikeda Elementary School, 6 kilometers out of Ikeda, in the same year. Married 4 times within October 1998, he was arrested on suspicion of assaulting his former wife but subsequently released. In 1999, Takuma was put onto temazepam, a medication used for difficulty with sleeping which should generally be taken for less than 10 days. On the 3rd of March 1999, he dissolved temazepam into tea served in the teacher's room at the school where he worked, which sent 4 teachers to the hospital who all survived. Arrested, he was involuntarily sent into a psychiatric hospital and was once again diagnosed with schizophrenia. While there, he attempted to commit suicide by jumping off the roof of a psychiatric hospital, but was released just 1 month later in April 1999, judged to be capable of taking care of himself. Takuma's odd behavior continued, including telling people that he was a survivor of the Japan Airlines Flight 123 airplane crash. Japan Airlines Flight 123 involved a Boeing 747-146SR, and following a discompression 12 minutes into the flight, the plane crashed into the Osaka Ridge in the area of Mount Tamagara, Ueno, Gunma Prefecture. The flight from Tokyo International Haneda Airport to Osaka International Itami Airport saw 505 of the 509 passengers die and all 15 crew members killed. It is the deadliest single aircraft accident in aviation history. The crash occurred on the 12th of August 1985 while Takuma was in jail for rape. In November 1999, 5 months after his release from a psychiatric hospital, he was arrested on suspicion of entering a private home, but all charges were dropped. He remained unemployed for 10 months. In 1999, his brother committed suicide by stabbing himself with a sword following business failings and bankruptcy, which deeply affected Takuma. Getting a job as a taxi driver in September 2000 in Osaka, Japan's second biggest city, he was fired 1 month later on the 16th of October 2000 when he assaulted a hotel porter in Osaka, breaking the male porter's nose. He was also kicked out of numerous apartments that he rented for throwing garbage from his balcony. On the 23rd of May 2001, he voluntarily admitted himself into a psychiatric hospital for depression, but left 1 day later on the 24th of May 2001 without treatment, which would have deadly consequences. Ikeda Elementary School is an elite primary school in Ikeda, Osaka Prefecture, Japan. The school is affiliated with Osaka Kyoiku University, a national university in Osaka, Japan. It was alleged due to the eliteness of the students, Takuma targeted this school. At 10:15 a.m. on the 8th of June 2001, he climbed from a veranda into the school with a kitchen knife and began stabbing school children and teachers, primarily targeting female students, mainly aged 6 and 7, as well as teachers. In Japan's most deadly school attack, he stabbed 8 students to death, all of whom were 7-year-old second-grade female students, except for one who was a 6-year-old first-grade male student, and seriously wounded 13 other students and 2 teachers. Takuma was subdued by the deputy principal and 1 teacher and arrested and held at the Osaka Detention House in Osaka, Japan. He told police that he attempted suicide many times and wanted to die. Provided with medical attention, it was found that he had Seroquel, a psychotic drug, Paxil, an antidepressant drug, and Evamir, a sleeping drug within his system. A further search of his house found about 200 sleeping pills and antipsychotic medication, which he had self-subscribed to help non-existent insomnia and sleeping disorders. The incident received much international media attention due to being a school killing, as well as the rarity of school massacres within Japan. 2 days after the incident, on the 10th of June 2001, at the Yokohama International Stadium, now the Nissan Stadium, at the FIFA Confederations Cup final between Japan and France, there was 1 minute of silence for each of the 8 victims of the school attack. France went on to win the match 1-0. The Japanese newspaper, the Sankei Shimbun, posted pictures of children sitting in the schoolyard of Ikeda Elementary School and crying when the incident occurred, which won the 2001 Newspaper Association Award. The case also gave rise to numerous debates about mental health in Japan, with 3,629 people in Japan suffering from mental illnesses arrested or apprehended between 1995 and 1999. Nearly 90% of these individuals, 3,240 people, were never charged of the crimes for which they were arrested or apprehended. The remaining 389 individuals were eventually charged, but all received reduced penalties. Upon interrogation, Takuma told police, "Anything and everything has become unbearable. Time and time again I tried to kill myself, but I could not do it. I wanted to be arrested and get the death sentence." His lawyers argued that Takuma was suffering from temporary insanity, but the psychiatrist who analysed him, as well as the court, did not buy it. The psychiatrist who initially diagnosed Takuma as a schizophrenic diagnosed him with paranoid personality disorder. Throughout his trial, Akoki Takuma was unpleasant, refused to apologise to the families of the victims who were present at the trial, and threw insults at the victims, forcing the judge to remove him. His only regret was not having killed more students or using gasoline, as he believed that this could have killed more children. On the 28th of August 2003, Takuma was found guilty of multiple counts of murder and sentenced to death at the Osaka District Court. He refused to appeal his sentence and wanted his death sentence to be handed down as quickly as possible. Meeting a woman who supported him during his trial, he married her in prison on the 28th of December 2003. This was to be his fifth and final marriage. 1 year later, on the 14th of September 2004, he was executed by hanging at 8:16 a.m. Kaoru Kobayashi, who sexually assaulted and murdered a 7-year-old child on her way home from elementary school and was apprehended 3.5 months after Takuma was executed on the 30th of December 2004, had an extreme admiration for Takuma, stating while on trial, "I want to be sentenced to death as quickly as possible and leave a legacy among the people as the next Tsumoto Miyazaki or Mamoru Takuma." We did an earlier video on Kobayashi, so if you're interested in learning about that case, please feel free to go ahead and check that video out. His mother continued to suffer from several psychological difficulties and spent much of the rest of her life in psychiatric hospitals before dying at the end of 2016. Since his son's execution, his dad has also been sent to numerous psychiatric hospitals, with his father openly holding responsibility for his son's actions. In 2006, the 7 second-year students who were stabbed to death in the Osaka School Massacre were awarded special diplomas with their classmates for graduating elementary school, with the male first-year student awarded the same diploma in 2007 when his classmates graduated. Victims were paid approximately $3.73 million in compensation. Numerous children who were at school on the day of the massacre developed post-traumatic stress disorder as a result of the massacre. Thank you for watching. Please do yourself a favour and hit that subscribe button and the bell icon to inform you when new videos come out. Also, why not hit that like button and leave a nice comment? It helps more than you know and your support is truly appreciated. Until next time, stay awesome, stay classy, be kind to everyone you meet, and have an amazing day.